Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Green Nurse Podcast, the daily dose of AFA, where we bring you hope and inspiration for growth and healing so you can start your day off the AFA way. And in case you've forgotten, I got a book here. Nurse Mark wrote a book. Absolutely fucking amazing. Exactly as you are. And Nurse Mark's at a workshop today. We just want to say, hello, Nurse Mark. We miss you today. But I am extremely grateful that I have cannabis nurse Kathleen Graham with us here today. And she's going to help me get through this awesome show. We're going to talk about terpenes today. But as you all know, we start off with the daily love. And before we get into the daily love, I want to give Kathleen an opportunity to say hello to our viewers. And for the new people that haven't met her before, just give a little hug and a nug about how awesome you are. And I just want to say thank you for joining me this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I am a registered nurse. I got my experience with cannabis as a hospice case manager. I was a regional manager for a hospice, and I left that and fully went into the cannabis industry as a cannabis nurse, helping to guide people through the CBD and cannabis field. And I have been in the healthcare industry for a little over 25 years.
Nice. And you've been doing some great things in Michigan?
Yes, we have. We've been expanding the education here and just putting the word out that there are medical professionals that are able to help you and guide you through this overwhelming field of cannabis and CBD.
There you go. And that's what we're here for, everyone. We are here to educate and empower you to make choices that are best for you, using plant medicines, progressive tools to support and nourish the endocannabinoid system, which you all know is the most important system in our body because it regulates all 11 organ systems, our immune system, and the neurotransmitter signaling systems that give messages to our body to either do something or not do something. And so as cannabis nurses, we're here to, like we said, we're here to hold your hand until you're ready to let go, not only to patients, but also to providers. New providers, new healthcare professionals, nurses, doctors that are getting into learning about cannabis as medicine. We're there for you too, because we care. So let's get into, and it has to do with love, right? We think about that. We love what we do. We love people. We love humanity, and we love healing, right? So here we go. I'm just going to give a little quick plug. Come to the Green Nurse Holistic Caring community. I'm going to give a quick plug for that because it's important. In that community, it's free, it's uncensored, it's private. You have access to nurses and other health professionals, right? We have a free book club, free webinar, free introductory course to cannabis. So we would love to have you in the community because, like I said, we're here every day and we love you all. We want you to reach new levels of wellness and to feel your best, to live your best. So let's get started with the daily love. Nurse Mark usually starts off every morning with a little reading. And so I'm going to take that and continue with that. And so the reading that I come up with today was from Don Miguel Ruiz. He's the author of The Four Agreements. And he wrote this book called The Little Book of Wisdom. Really, really great read. And it's going to tie right into cannabis. So the reading goes as this. I come to you asking for a favor. And that favor is to help me to change the world of humanity, not the out one out there, not the outer humanity out there, but the world that we all create in our own mind. And that is the world that is only true for you and not for anyone else. You see, you create the story of your life. You create an entire reality that is only true for you. There are 7 billion people in the world, all who create their own story, right? So what are the stories that we're telling us, and what are ourselves, in our mind? We talk to ourselves more than we talk to anyone else. And we do have that capability to change the dialogue. And here's how cannabis fits in. Cannabis helped me to rewrite my story, right? At one point in time, I was extremely sick. I was suffering, and I was stuck in the story of I can't do anything. I'm a failure. My life isn't working. I'm not a nurse. I can't take care of myself, right? So it was all the can't. Well, when cannabis came into my life, it shifted my perspective because I had immediate relief to not what I can't do, but what can I do, right? And so what I could do was start to use this plant to help me, my mind, my body, and my spirit to start healing. And that's what's so powerful about the cannabis plant is it allows us to access new neural pathways in our brain. As we start to work with the plant and make healthy choices to support and nourish our endocannabinoid system, cannabis is a really, really great tool for helping us to get into that deeper aspect of healing, mental, emotional, spiritual healing, as well as physical healing. What do you think about that quote, Kathleen?
I think it is wonderful, and I agree with it 100%.
Yeah. There we go. So rise and shine. So let's say hello to some of our people out there. Hello, everyone. Melissa, Tiffany, Michelle, Laura, Glenn, Carrie Lee. Thank you guys for joining us this morning. Your presence here makes a difference, a big, big difference, because it just makes me realize how much I love doing this and how much I love to reach people in a way that I haven't been able to take care of people as a nurse. So really, really grateful for the opportunity to be here with you all. And today is Tidbit Tuesday, Hugs and Nugs, Terpene Tuesday. And so when we talk about whole plant medicine, you think about the plant has, they're saying over 500 cannabinoids, different constituents in the plant, cannabinoids, essential fatty acids, bioflavones, cannaflavins, and terpenes. So terpenes play a huge role in how cannabis interacts in our body. And when you think about the entourage effect, we talk about that all the time, it's the synergy of the entire plant working together. So today is Terpene Tuesday, and we're going to talk about phytol. But first, let's just get into a little bit more clear definition of what terpenes are. So terpenes are organic compounds that produce specific smells and tastes. They're found in cannabis, essential oils, plants, trees, and foods. And in cannabis, the terpenes help to ward off. So you think when the plant's growing, it helps to ward off attacks from animals, insects, and fungus during the growth cycle of the plant. And then when the plant goes through the curation process as it gets harvested, the terpenes become oxidized from the oxygen, resulting in what we know as terpenoids. Right? And so, like I said before, terpenes contribute to the entourage effect, the whole plant, and they have their own healing properties. And the entourage effect does suggest that utilizing cannabinoids, terpenes together produces a more potent medicinal effect rather than using the isolated compounds alone. So another way of saying that is the whole of the plant is greater than its individual parts. And we're just going to step into a little bit more because Kathleen and I really grateful. I just want to say thank you so much, Kathleen, for inviting me to do this poster. So for the American Cannabis Nurses Association, they are having a conference in New Mexico in October. And so Kathleen actually suggested it. She actually has done this project before, but included me in it. And I felt it was very, very powerful, and I wanted to contribute to it because, like I said, terpenes are really important. So let's tell our viewers about the poster and what the poster entails.
Thank you for joining me in it. I think that we improved it and updated it. That's for sure. So the poster goes over 3 patients that I took care of in hospice care that helped to educate me about the cannabis plant and what it does to people. And more importantly, the active ingredients, because we know that not all cannabis is created equal and that some cannabis has different terpene profile than other cannabis. And I think the most profound case to me, we will call her Elle. Her name was Ella. And so she had Crohn's disease and she wanted to try cannabis, but she also had PTSD and anxiety. And what we discovered was the cannabis that she got was really high in pinene, and it really exacerbated her anxiety and her PTSD. And so she was really afraid to try it again. And so that brought me to, okay, what is in this that is causing this, and helping
Right.
her find the right type of cannabis for her to manage not only her Crohn's disease, but to manage her anxiety and PTSD as well. And
Yep.
we did find the right type of cannabis that worked really good for her in the method that she wanted to consume it in.
See, and that's beautiful. And that goes to show you all, I love to just bring it back to this, is how cannabis is personalized medicine, right? No two people are the same. And when you looked at it, she had different conditions that she was managing all at the same time. So if one person is treating or using cannabis for Crohn's disease and doesn't have PTSD, well, that may be one thing, but you're combining different disease processes and just different symptoms, right? And so it's really, really crucial to find that combination of cannabinoids, terpenes, different methods of administration, to manage symptoms. And I know you have one other story that's really good too.
I will let you tell your story first. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, my story, okay, I'm gonna tell my story at the end because it has to do with the specific terpene that we're
Oh,
going to be talking about, which is fine.
okay.
So we'll get into that. Phytol. Okay, so today's terpene is
Yes.
phytol. And the interesting thing about phytol is I never really learned about it until I started to actually work with full extract cannabis oil and seeing tremendous results in patients that have cancer. Okay, so today's terpene is phytol. Phytol is a byproduct of chlorophyll. Okay, so you think about chlorophyll is the part of the plant that makes it green. Okay, it makes it green, gives the leaves their green color. And so as chlorophyll is broken down by the plant, phytol is released. And it's estimated that 30% of chlorophyll is phytol. So phytol is a part of the larger molecule chlorophyll, like I said, and it's clear, colorless, it's oily liquid, and in its isolated forms, right? This is why we talk about the entourage effect in whole plant medicine. So if you have phytol all on its own, it could be a little bit of an irritant. So that's why we talk about whole plant using everything together in synergy. So phytol is found in green tea, jasmine, olive trees, seaweed, basil, and it's also the found in vitamin E, K, and multivitamins. So very, very interesting. It's used to synthesize. So traditional system uses phytol to synthesize vitamin E, K, and it's actually also is morphed into a yellow pigment that's used in food dyes, which I find is very interesting. So phytol is also used in fragrances, cosmetics, shampoos, household cleaners, and detergents. And the scent of phytol, if you can imagine, very chlorophyll, is very floral, grassy. But the other thing that's interesting too is what the research suggests is that its aroma isn't as pungent as some of the other terpenes. So, full extract cannabis oil. So, the benefits of this terpene have been found to be an antioxidant, helps fight free radicals, protects cells. And if you think about what free radicals are, I call them little metabolic terrorists that promote inflammation, right? Oxidative stress, the rusting of our cells. It's an anti inflammatory, reduces inflammation, analgesic, relieves pain. It's an antimicrobial. It has been known to work on Staph aureus, antiparasitic, anticonvulsant, anti-seizure. It's been known to decrease seizure activity, anti-anxiety, relaxing and sedating, and anti-cancer. So in 2015, a study showed that it may be effective in treatment of liver cancer and breast cancer. And we're going to review down below the 4 ways that cannabinoids can work on cancer cells to eliminate them. We're going to review a chart in just a minute. So the research is very fascinating. I took this information from Cannakeys, and there were 23 total studies on phytol, 10 laboratory studies, 11 animal studies, 2 meta-analysis, but there were 0 clinical human or double-blind placebo trials. So the meta-analysis actually looks at various papers, preclinical trials, people that are doing this on their own, and they bring all the information together and they write a synopsis. So the top conditions that were studied with phytol include the oxidative stress, fighting free radicals, liver cancer, breast cancer, metabolic syndrome, right? Working on our glucose metabolism, generalized pain, anxiety, and Lennox-Gastaut, the seizure disorder that many children have. So strains that are high in phytol, which was interesting, OG Kush, Harlequin, Catatonic, Trident, Sour Diesel, Cheese, and Jack Herer. And what I find really interesting about this combination of different strains that's listed here is that it's a combination of both, as they call it, indica, sativa, and hybrid. So you have a vast range. And so this is why it's really important. So when you're looking at terpene profiles, you may see, oh, phytol's great. However, you have to look at the rest of the plant and what else is in it, because OG Kush, Catatonic, and Sour Diesel, even though they have that terpene in it, the cannabinoid profiles and the other terpenes are much different. And so you can't expect to have one specific effect using that. Would you agree?
I would completely agree. And that's a great point to make, that one terpene does not make the whole plant.
Exactly. So as we continue on, I'm going to share my story. And this was really, really compelling story. I'm a storyteller. And this was my second hospice patient that I took care of. And it was a woman that was given 1 month to live. She had stage 4 pancreatic cancer, unresectable tumor, failed chemo, failed radiation. And so I was contacted by social services. She had gotten her medical card. Her husband went to the dispensary and got all kinds of cannabis, and they didn't know how to use it. And so, they had the full extract cannabis oil, the Rick Simpson, they had everything. And so she just didn't know how to use it appropriately. So when we got to her home, I took another nurse with me. We looked at all of her different products, and we asked her really a very important question. And this is the end of your life. You have to have these different types of difficult conversations. You're terminal. She knows that. She's in hospice. How do you want to live the rest of your life? What's important to you? And what's the goal of cannabis? Now, granted, I know that I want her to be cured, but right now in that moment in time, it was about relieving suffering and improving quality of life. That's what it was about. And so a lot of people, that that have cancer diagnoses, they go straight to that protocol. You got to get the 90 grams in 90 days. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but how I worked with this patient was really, really different. And it showed me the power of the plant. And it demonstrated that you don't need all the time to have that much. So here's her story. So she had all this stuff here. And she basically said that she wanted to feel good in the daytime and to sleep in the evening. So we started her off on the full extract cannabis oil in the evening. Okay, her husband mixed it up. I showed him how to take the dart and mixed it up into some olive oil. And then we made capsules, and we were able to dose it because we wanted her just to get a good night's sleep, to have some pain relief. When she woke up in the morning, she did her CBD. So she was doing CBD throughout the day, THC in the evening. So here's the part that's so interesting is worked with her for about a month and then lost contact. I didn't get any more calls. I checked in. She's doing good. I was like, all right. Well, I didn't hear anything, for a few months. And literally this was in July, and right before Christmas that same year, I got a call from her, and she was calling from her oncologist's office. And she basically said, Sherry, she's this little Italian old lady. Sherry, you're never going to believe it. And I go, who is this? And she said her name, and I go, oh my God, I thought you died. Seriously. I was like, oh my God, you're in your oncology office? It's been 6 months. What's going on? And she goes, it's gone. I go, what's gone? She goes, the tumor's gone. I was like, did you do anything different? Like, you were just on a tiny bit of THC, you were taking, a nice amount of CBD, and your cancer's gone? How could that be? So I was like, wow, this is really powerful. And I really wanted to understand, a little bit more. And then, diving, this was like years ago. This was like 3.5 years ago that I saw this patient. And over the course of time, learning about the cannabis plant, the different constituents of the plant, and how cannabis can affect tumor cells was really, really powerful. And so the point of this is that because phytol is found in higher concentrations of whole plant medicine, that full extract cannabis oil using ethanol as the extraction process, she had as much as the plant as possible. So the phytol and the fico contributed to the THC and the CBD having an effect of being anti-angiogenic and pro-apoptosis. So what does that all mean? So when we look at cannabinoids, and the study and research has shown that there's 4 ways that cannabinoids can work on tumor cells to eliminate them. And one of them is anti-angiogenic, which prevents the formation of new blood vessels. The second one is anti-proliferative, which prevents the cells from reproducing. The third one is anti-metastatic, which prevents the spreading to other organs. And the fourth one is apoptosis. And this is the one that I think is the most powerful. It induces the cell to seek its own death while keeping the other cells healthy and alive. So that's really, really powerful. So the THC, when I saw this video, I was like, whoa, there is a video out there, and I'm going to have to find it because it's powerful. And it shows THC entering into the cell, disrupting the mitochondria, which is the energy center of the cell, and causing the cell to collapse, seek its own death, and go away. And the surrounding healthy cells are just marching along, doing their thing, not affected, right? And so it's really, really powerful, really powerful story. And that's one of many, many, many stories that we have. And the whole point of me telling that story is that the whole plant medicine worked in her favor. She didn't need to take 90 grams in 90 days to get the benefits of cannabis and to work on relieving symptoms, improving quality of life, and eradicating her cancer. So today, right now, I check in with her once a month, and she's still in remission. She was actually able to go to Italy a year and a half ago and travel with her family. And she's living her best life, and she's not dying right now. So this plant was a miracle in her life, and it can be a miracle in so many other patients' lives.
What an amazing story.
Yeah, it was definitely like I was blown away. And that really made me, just dig in deeper to the science and how and why and how come everyone's different. The patient that I took care of before that had cancer that was given a month to live died 2 weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it's just really interesting as to how some people are affected by the plant, and some people, it didn't cure this other man's cancer, but what it did do was it gave him an amazing last 2 weeks of his life. So that's the power of the plant. And when we're working with patients, it's about working with you. What's important to you? How do you want to live your life? And as you can see, the miracle, this patient just wanted to have, her last month of life not suffering. And then in the end, the plant allowed her body to heal and to work on killing those cancer cells. So really good stuff. So I want to thank you guys all for joining us today. Kathleen, do you have any other words of wisdom for our viewers?
I just want to say I appreciate all the stuff that you give to help everybody learn a little bit more about the active ingredients in cannabis and how it plays a part in helping us maintain homeostasis in our body. I appreciate everything that you do.
Oh, Kathleen, thank you. It's really, and I'll just give myself a little plug. So it's been 4 years that I started podcasting. Okay, so that's it. Just literally celebrated 4 years of podcasting, and I started podcasting for the mere reason of coming out of the closet to share my story of healing. And then also, to decrease stigma. I needed to decrease stigma. I was plagued with stigma around my own use of cannabis. And so I thought maybe I could share my story, share compelling stories of others. And then it's evolved into this morning show where we are giving you all little hugs and nugs of information on how, you can use cannabis to live your best life. So thank you so much, Kathleen, for coming on. You've been a great, wonderful contribution to our platform, and we are so excited to continue to work with you.
Thank you so much.
All right. So final plug, Green Nurse Holistic Caring Community, patients, providers, all people that are interested in cannabis as medicine, free community, free introductory to cannabis course, monthly free webinars, and we're starting a book club. First book, Cannabis for Health, Become a Coach. So we're going to go through this book chapter by chapter. We're going to read it and we're going to discuss it, which is great. The other thing that we're starting in the community is a free patient support group. So we need you all there, and our podcasts are there as well. We need you all there. We're excited to have you. Come join the community. Big thank you to Elizabeth Mack for bringing the green nurses into the holistic caring community to really build this platform up in a way that we can serve the most people. And so with that being said, tomorrow night, Wednesday, I'm going to be having Elizabeth Mack, the CEO and founder of Holistic Caring Network, and her vice president of program development. And I've had both of them on before separately in an interview, and we're going to bring them all together, and we're going to talk about how that platform is going to help people. And we're going to be giving a nice big announcement, and we're really excited to share with you all. So join us tomorrow night and also tomorrow morning. So the rest of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 8 a.m. and then tomorrow night at 8 p.m. And I want to thank you all for being here. Very, very grateful. And I'm going to end as I always end with my tagline. Remember, really, it's all about living your best life and helping others do the same, and decreasing stigma around what it means to feel good, because we all do deserve to feel good. All right, everybody, have an absolutely amazing day. And now I have to figure out how to turn this button off.
Have an amazing day.
All right, we love you all. Mwah. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.